Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am the AYoN.
Hello, I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi-Doo.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
And if you, well, some people heard it, some people probably didn't. Yin is currently not here, but their robot voice is with us. And that's what's important, and I'm sure they're not going to say anything out of the ordinary at all. It's going to be totally exactly what Yin wanted to be heard and said. Isn't that right, Yin?
That's right, you handsome son of a bitch. Boom shakalaka.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what did we do this week? We're finishing out the quarterfinals this week with, God, who was last week? It was
Digimon beating
Yokai
Watch.
Everything is just coalescing into one giant blob nowadays. But yeah, so that happened. Digimon moves on to the Final Four, and we're going to get the last of our Final Four today with the winner of the Battle Toy bracket. It's Battle B-Daman versus Beyblade. A lot of B's today. Things going bitty. Things might be bitty weird. Beyblade.
Honestly, that's how I felt watching these.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a slog.
Just a bitty bit.
This is be the bullshit.
Okay, so I don't think we need too much of a refresher. Should we just get into it?
Yeah.
Put me out of my misery, you rambling bastard.
Alright, first one up I think was Battle B-Daman. And when last we left off, Yamato Delgado had his B-Daman, and they were battling all up and down the boulevard.
Weren't they at like a tournament?
No, I think it was like more of a rec center kind of deal, where they fought a crow, and now they're...
Okay, I don't understand how they went from there to Glacier.
You know, it's just one of those worlds, I guess. Weirdly enough, I guess this is Japan that they're in, or whatever post-apocalyptic wasteland that it is, because we eventually meet a Scotsman, or a Scots lad, or something, who says that they're in Japan now.
That is true.
But that's
Someone
later.
from the Highlands.
Yeah.
Weren't they in the Beta world?
Yeah, the Beta world, but what is the Beta world?
I thought it was in space.
I think the Beta world is the beat down, boogity former Earth after it got beaten.
You sound like you're having a stroke.
A little bit. I mean, honestly, this tournament just in general has not helped my mental health very much, I don't think, but, you know. It's kind of beside the point at this point.
The Beta world was on a different plane of existence, only reached by taking acid.
I mean, that's how we get there. That's how this show was written, but, you know, it's not actually. So... What are our people doing? We got our cat boy, our prairie wizard, and our split personality guy now going around looking for more battles, and now we have two twins that are not twins, but are also evil, but also racist.
Friends.
We're going with that?
A little racist, yeah.
Yeah.
They're also friends with the prairie wizard.
Yeah, so we had to have that reveal, but not before we have a big old beat of battle on the big block of ice. Beat a battle with the block of ice to break the beat of mon out of the block of ice with the beat of balls. But you want to be the best, you gotta beat the rest, and the rest is cheating, so these twins are cheating, I guess. Though it's kind of like, you know, what were the rules to begin with? To some degree, this whole show sort of feels a bit like it's supposed to be like an Old West kind of shootout thing. But then they're like, but you're cheating.
They fusion hod their Beat-em-on?
That was interesting.
Almost.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works.
Well, I mean, they're customizable little toys, so I'm assuming they just took parts off of one and put them on the other, more or less. I mean, we've all had, like, a Transformer before, right?
That feels illegal to do in the middle of a match.
It should be, but at the same time, apparently these two cheat constantly. So, whatever.
They went to a space dimension on a trip there for a little bit.
When did that happen? I think I missed that.
I don't know, like, when they were talking with Yamato at one point, like the background went to space.
Oh, maybe that was just for effect. Or maybe they did go to space, and Cece's mushroom idea is right. Everybody's high, and they're all children.
Oh.
Don't give kids drugs. That's
We
bad.
are all figments of the gelatinous lady's imagination.
Oh,
She's
boy.
a walrus.
How is she a walrus?
She looks like a walrus.
I really... Explain, please.
I mean-
Expand upon this idea.
Walruses are pretty gelatinous. I can kind of see it.
No,
I mean,
they're blubbery.
it's just
There's a
the
difference.
fact that it's kind of got like the little cat mouth, but also it has like, I don't know. For me, I thought like her feet were like little flippers.
Wouldn't that make her a seal more than a walrus?
I
But
can't
she has
see either
the
of those.
little, I don't know, seal, walrus. Honestly, at that point that I was watching these episodes, I'm like, she doesn't look like a person.
No
She
one
looks
does.
like she really doesn't. And listen, my brain was tuning out.
Yeah, no, you were seeing the walrus. Everyone else was seeing the Eggman, Cuckoo, Cachoo, Mrs. Robinson, what have you. Everybody's high, basically.
Anyways, they lose against the twins,
Yes, that's true. But they cheated, but they also didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
but Gray's getting blackmailed into being friends with them, so...
Oh, right, they have his sister?
I think he said sister, yeah.
Yeah, sister.
Yeah.
Although
Sis-
they said it loud enough for him to hear, and then Yamato was like, Gray, why are you suddenly betraying me? Like,
'Cause-
did you not just hear them say, think about your sister?
Let's be real here, though. Are we surprised that he doesn't understand what's going on?
No.
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 we're not. So I'm just assuming that the main character is a moron.
I think it could be argued about most of the characters.
I mean, I guess they're all 5. Their brains haven't fully developed yet. Or at all.
Yeah, so, episode 6, Yamato sets out to find a Battle B-Daman.
Yeah, his Yoba, if you will. And then he meets we met Scottish person at episode, 1, I think.
Yeah, but we didn't, meet them.
Yeah, their name's Taddy. Honestly, they were kind of fun.
And both Terry and Yamato set out on this journey with absolutely no fucking food.
Yeah, well,
Just
cats are
morons.
foragers, right? And so are Highlanders.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Are we questioning the logic of this show? Because I don't think we should. I think that's a recipe for disaster right there.
Okay. Well, they find a giant cat.
Yeah, they find a giant cat who battled them, and then has them draw. He Miyagi's them real hard, and shows them how to draw circles and triangles, and they learn how to load and shoot at the same time. Is basically the thing.
That whole sequence of that whole episode was just a mix of Empire Strikes Back and Karate Kid.
Yeah, but I like both those movies, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Should we just get into plot and get this over with?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, Chibi, you're leading us off. What did you think?
I'm gonna be real honest. As soon as I threw this on, I tuned out. So, I'm not gonna really have a whole lot to offer on this, aside from the fact that I'm just a very light nay. Because for what little parts that I was paying attention to, I was not enthused. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a nay. Episodes 4 and 5, I didn't really care for at all. I thought the whole premise of the two guys, they spent that whole conflict fighting over the side characters, beat them on in an ice. Yeah, Zephyr in an iceberg, and it's why am I caring about this? It's not like they're fighting over the main characters, beat them on. It's the side characters, and even if they lose, it didn't matter anyway, because if if the main character won, he would get it back for him. And as we saw, they won, and they immediately gave it back to him, just to reveal, oh yeah, you're working for us. So like, it was entirely pointless. And episode 6 was, I guess, a little bit better, but as I mentioned, the plot's derivative of the 2 movies that I mentioned. So yeah, I said this before we started recording. Watching this show, it was like being transported. My mind was transported into like a state of nothingness. Like I wasn't not confused, but at the same time, I wasn't really getting anything out of it either. I was just watching it.
Is it like meditating?
No,
Oh.
because meditating applies something good. This is more like you know that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick says the inner mechanisms of my mind are an enigma that's spilled milk. It's kind of something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel you.
I was gonna say, is it something like a sensory deprivation tank?
I've never been in one of
those are
those,
still
so
good experiences.
They're productive. They're cleaning your brain. This is not. It's filling it with garbage.
yeah.
Into the
Yeah.
dumpster we go.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm also going to give it an A. The only thing I remember about these 3 episodes is at the end of the last one, I was like, whoa, I really thought I was going to fall asleep during that, and I didn't. And then I immediately fell asleep.
Wow. Look at you.
I didn't sleep, but like, the plot did not stick with me at all.
Okay. I feel like I'm usually the very harsh one, but y'all are doing it for me this week, so I'll just give it a meh. I think for its target audience, the plot works. If you are a young child, it's a plot that's easy to follow. Like, they very clearly foreshadowed Gray was betraying them from the start of episode 4. Granted, a lot of the rules didn't make sense for the actual battle, but, like, it very cleanly continued between 4 and 5. 6 was a little off the wall, but again, I'm gonna try to give it grace because I think it was meant for a younger audience. But, like, if you were looking for plot consistency or world building, or really for it to not have any, like, plot holes that make you go, but wait, what? This would not be the show for you.
Yeah, I think I'm also a meh here. It's kind of doing this this sort of like bouncing back and forth kind of thing where it's like, okay, we're meeting new characters and we're having new kinds of battles and we're going to new locations and the plot is moving, but at the same time, all those good points, all of it's not that interesting. So it's also it's right there in the middle for me. It's kind of a meh. I don't really know what to say about it. It's there, and it's doing something, and occasionally it's kind of fun, I guess, but other times it's like, nah, this is decidedly not fun, and kind of the opposite at times. We have a lot of moments. Well, no, that's more of a character issue. You know, yeah, I'm just gonna give it a meh. Yin, what did you think?
Plot, meh. The reason it's not a nah is I feel like the plot had progression and actually changed, not just episodic, like the betrayal of Gray and his new goal to beat him. Was pleasantly surprised that it's moving towards something, but everything else is kinda whatever, so meh overall.
Well said, Yin. I think now we move on into characters. Envy, what are your thoughts?
Yamato is just there. Like, I don't think he's a bad person per se, cat thing, whatever he is, but he also is kind of annoying, and he's like I don't know how old he is exactly, but I imagine he's like 10 or 11 or something like that, so he's how you would expect a 10 or 11-year-old to act. Gray really didn't have anything to do in these episodes other than, betray Yamato at the end. Bull, again, he didn't really do much. Like, his other personality came out for a few seconds. Otherwise, he just mysteriously left after episode 5, and that was it. Terry, he he or she seems fine, I guess. It's this typical rivalry, the Naruto and Sasuke type of stuff. Although I guess technically this came before Naruto, if you think about it. And then I kind of liked Yamada as a character. I thought he was kind of, again, derivative of, Yoda and Mr. Miyagi, but, still good character tropes to have. So I guess I'm kind of a low meh.
I think I'm also going to give it a light nay. I like the cat boy. I want to know more about him and how he grew up with cats and how he came to be adopted by his human mother. But that's not what this show is about. And the rest of the characters I find uninteresting at best, and at worst, kind of racist.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a nay here. We still have, like, the racist caricatures, and I don't feel like they developed any of the characters that they had. We were introduced to basically 4 new characters. We don't really know anything about them beyond, like, surface level. And then, like, the 3 characters we had that we've already gotten to kind of know, they didn't really offer us, like, any deeper insight to them. So, like, Yamato as the protagonist, we got nothing about who he is beyond what we already know. And then, like, Gray, they hinted at doing something and then just didn't follow through on it. The kid with the split personalities, I'm a little confused. Does he have 2 or 3?
I want to say 3.
Okay. Because I'm like, wait, is the emo hair one the same as the derp one?
I think it's derp, emo, Super Saiyan.
Okay. But yeah, like, when you have a protagonist of the series, and by episode 4, you've kind of just tossed them in the bin and said, well, they're established, I don't have to play with you anymore. Like, that's a really bad sign. Also, give Yamato a fucking nose, 2023.
No, we don't need to bring this show back.
Yeah, keep it in the dumpster where it belongs.
Give him a nose.
I feel like he doesn't have a nose because none of the cats in this show have a nose. And since he was raised by cats, it probably altered his DNA in some form or fashion to make him both noseless and more annoying than your average 11-year-old. I'm a light nay here. Sometimes this show is a little bit funny with its characters, but most of the times it's not, and it's either annoying or straight up bad. I thought the Highlander was a little bit funny. I thought Cat Yoda was kind of fun. But it's not enough to raise it from the fact that we had multiple sequences of Yamato just yelling out some catchphrase over and over and over again for like a full minute a bunch of times in these episodes that I was just like, you know what? You're like, it's not like he has bad voice or anything, but it's like you speaking is like the equivalent of like sandpaper on my eyeballs or on my ears or something. It's just irritating.
Cheese grater.
Cheese grater. Yeah, on some part of my body that I don't want it on.
You know what that just reminded me of?
Oh,
the
God.
cheese grater animation from SpongeBob.
Everything comes back to SpongeBob. Yeah, so I'm a light nay. Yin, what did you think?
Characters, nay. They're all extremely irritating except maybe Gray. The racist ones are still racist. Main character gets more grating to me. Scottish kid was kind of fun and their dynamic could be enjoyable, but it wasn't enough at all. But I'll tell you what was more than enough for me, the hot blue mama narrating the episodes. Ooh doggy, me likey some big jiggly jelly girls, I'll tell you what. Booyah.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I'ma just say that I'm a nay. I don't really find any of them like really great. Like Scottish Highlander kid Terry, kind of fun, but just not great. Also, I feel like the fact that Yamato doesn't have a nose is probably because like He's just literally designed to be like a chibi.
They're all chibis, though.
You want to know what would be really great about this whole nose thing? They gave him some characterization to explain why he doesn't have one.
You know, I feel like this show has the type of writers that actually would go into something like that.
They didn't.
And here's the worst part. You know he can smell. Which, like, if they made a thing of, like a joke, where it's like, he doesn't have a nose, so therefore he can't smell, kind of like Patrick and SpongeBob, not to bring it back, but to bring it back. Like, that could be kind of funny.
Yeah, if he can still smell, though, is he smelling like how a snake does?
Like with his tongue?
Yeah,
I thought snakes have nostrils. Am I crazy right now?
Yeah, but they smell with their tongue.
Well, maybe he's like a fly? No, not a fly. Flies taste with their feet.
Well, taste and smell are pretty well connected.
They are.
I feel like we're going way too into the physiology of this animated character. Maybe we shouldn't. And instead, maybe move on to
talking about the show.
Advertising. Wait, Chibi, were you done?
Yes.
Okay. Cece, why don't you take us into advertising? What'd you think?
I'm gonna give it a meh, I guess. They were showing off the toys and, like, what they do, but they weren't explaining it well. I was confused a lot of the time. Especially when they fused them. I could see how they would make a toy like that, but I feel like these don't actually do that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna have to be like a nay on this. I understand the concept of what the toy is, but what the toy is and what it does, I don't feel like was actually being marketed in these 3 episodes. Like, you can make an argument for the first 3 because they were showing, like, legitimate game types and stuff. But, like, if you go get a beat 'em on, when are you ever going to have, like, a life or death shootout to try and break a glacier?
I mean, that's for the advanced game, obviously.
Oh shit, you're right. That's also where that giant stone beat 'em on that somehow works.
I'm telling you, this was Earth, and it was destroyed by beat-em-ons, and that's why everything is decided by beat-em-ons.
I don't feel like it was a good product showcase. Maybe younger kids would think it's cool and I want to get one, but I just don't see it from what we were shown.
I kind of see what you're saying. I think they are lacking a little bit in their explanations of what these toys are doing, but I think every episode we are still seeing new features that these toys have, like interchangeable parts, or you can combine different pieces from different beat-em-ons to do different stuff, or like different, I think every episode is kind of exploring a new element of whatever this toy is, and to some degree, I still kind of want one a little bit. So I'm a light yay here. They probably do need to do a better job of explaining things, but I am still seeing these things being put together in different ways, and like, oh, I can make a beat 'em on however crazy beat 'em on you want to beat a battle with the beat 'em on. So, yeah, like, I think it's still pretty decent, so I'll give it a light yay. Yin, what did you think about advertising?
What they need to be advertising is that big ol' jolly booty. Smack jiggle jiggle, yeehaw. But other than that, advertising, nay. The more I see, the more I don't understand. What's even the in-universe goal of this game? I guess just to beat each other then move on? At times feels like glorified air hockey. Kinda goofy.
Glorified air hockey.
I mean, air hockey is kind of fantastic, so I don't know what you're saying.
Would you air hockey for life or death, though?
I mean, I feel like that could be an anime.
We can't even get a hockey anime, let alone a air hockey anime.
We won't talk
No,
about
no,
that
we
for
got
now.
the hockey anime
I-
we deserve.
We're not talking about it.
I'm not talking
Save
about
it for the Patreon.
We're on advertising, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thumbs down with a raspberry. Nay. Listen. There was...
I just like that phrase.
There was nothing really, like, going for this with advertising. This was, like, purely, like, focused on plot line, which for a show, that's fine. However, if you're trying to, like, get me to buy your thing, like, I need to see more of your thing. And I wasn't seeing enough of the little beat-em-on. So, yeah.
I love that it wasn't actually worthy of a proper raspberry, just the word raspberry.
Listen.
They're trying not to blow the mic out.
Yeah.
Thank
and also,
you.
like, I don't think I can make that motion with my mouth right now. I'm very tired, okay?
It was a rough day. And these are some rough episodes.
I guess I'm kind of I don't know. I guess I'm a meh, because I do agree with Al that they would be cool to have in real life, especially, if they actually fire like they do in the anime, although that's probably extremely dangerous, so I don't know if they would get away with selling that to kids, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, the other thing, I do agree with what Chibs was saying, that, there really wasn't a big focus on the toys themselves, it was on plot, so just kind of a meh overall.
I will say, I would be willing to go to a meh if they did actually shoot that hard. Like, I'm still disappointed about the toys having a button instead of, like, a little squeezy puff of air thing, so you could control how hard it shot. But, like, if you press that button and it, like, actually, like, fucking shoots it across the table, that would be pretty fun. I would love to hit somebody in the eye with that.
I think at the end of the day, we are going to have to, like, see if we can find one of these things to see just how it works.
I mean, they look relatively small.
Yeah, but you never know. I've had some Nerf guns that were very small, but managed to pack a little more wallop than my friend I was shooting thought it would. So, anywho, why don't we talk a little bit of production? Kozi, why don't you lead us off into that?
Guess I'll give it a light yay. The overall animation is decent. The dub does manage to sneak in some funny lines. Character design is still trash. Like, the opening and ending, I think, are still trash. Yeah, no, I don't really got anything else for it. Like, it's okay to look at, I guess.
Yeah, I'm more I'm thinking along the same lines as you, but I think I'm a little bit more of a meh. It's okay. Most of it's fine. I think you're right. We mentioned the nose stuff. Like, some people just look weird in this, and it's kind of like, I don't know. You're getting an occasional funny line read or something with the dub, so that's okay. I don't hate the opening. It kind of gets in your head a little bit, but it's also not particularly great. So, yeah, everything's sort of in the middle there, so I'll just give it a meh. Yin, what?
That one kid with the eyes that have, like, no whites, he needs to go get that checked out by a medical professional.
Yeah.
That usually heralds going blind.
Yeah, there's a term for that. We'll have to look into that for them. Yin, what were your thoughts, though?
Production, nay. The animation style is still incredibly ugly to me, though the quality is fine.
Okie dokie, Yin.
I'm gonna give this, like, overall a meh, because I don't really have any, like, real problems with the production. So, yeah.
Same as Chibs.
I think I agree with Al mostly on this one, which is also a meh, but it's okay to look at, but it's nothing special.
Okay, and Al's taking us into final thoughts.
Well, that's my line, but okay.
Get fucked.
Yeah, I'm a light nay here. It's not the worst thing I've seen in this tournament, but it's not great. It's kind of, the plot's moving, which is nice, but is it going anywhere I particularly care about? Probably not, and part of that is due that I don't really care much about the characters or anything going on there. I think the best thing they got going for them is the beat-em-ons themselves, and more than anything, I just kind of want to, kind of like what Kozi's thinking, I just kind of want to shoot it at a friend of mine across the room and just see what happens, because I'm a jerk. but that doesn't necessarily mean you're making a good show here. So,
Yay,
yeah, it's a light
violence.
nay. Yin, what did you think?
Final thoughts, nay. The plot got a bit better, but overall it's still a very annoying show to watch and no real desire to continue. My only desire is to get my face all up in that big, blue, S.
Okie dokie.
Al, back to what you just said. You know what would have made this show a lot better? If it was essentially like, you remember how for your birthday we were all in Yin and Gav's place?
Yeah.
And you were chasing us around the first floor with a Nerf gun?
Well, to be fair, it was that thing, yeah, you blindfold the person with the Nerf gun and they have to, like, and they try to find you and hunt you down. Yeah.
That would have been a better show.
Like a quiet place.
Yeah, kind of like that a little bit. Or like
But with
the end of
Nerf
Silence of the
guns.
Lambs.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been more entertaining than this.
That could be an
if
episode
you-
of, like, Kaiji or something.
Ooh. Actually, yeah.
See, like, all these, like, little games that we're talking, like, oh, you can make an anime out of that. I'm pretty sure, like, Kaiji probably did all these things.
Yeah. Probably. Anyway, if you couldn't tell from all of my answers, my overall final thoughts are a nay.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of a nay too. Like, it's not the worst show I've seen from this tournament, but yeah, I really have no desire to continue watching it anymore, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Like, granted, I am kind of cranky today, but I could see this going somewhere interesting, but it's not doing it for me right now, so I'll give it a light nay.
I am also just gonna give it a light nay. Not bad enough that it makes me want to leave the country, but I really don't want to keep going with it.
Cool. So, that's Battle B-Daman. Any other
Beat 'em
things to
on.
say about that before we head on to Beyblade?
Nope.
All right, let's move on into Beyblade. So what happened with Beyblade? We're in a tournament, which, like, granted, for the tournament that we're in, this is not the first tournament that's shown up in a show, but at the same time, pretty quick to get into a tournament. So that's where they are now. We got we're expanding our cast a little bit. We got a new person named Ray fighting Kai again. We got brackets going, and people are battling all over the place. We're starting to get a lot more matchups, and like each episode's kind of doing its own matchup. We had like the preliminaries or whatever, where it's like everybody just dump in a dome and try to kill each other, last man standing, and then I guess the 4 last men, boys, children standing went on for the brackets. Kai beat Max, and then Tyson beat new guy Ray. But everyone's got a monster in their top now. So,
Except for Chief.
well, that's in his laptop. So yeah, next episode I think Kai's gonna be fighting Tyson. So that's,
Again.
yeah. We'll have the rematch and all that sort of stuff. I mean, that's the broad strokes. Was there any like, oh, Carlos came back?
Carlos did come
Yeah.
back, and I think we have befriended him.
Yeah, we're gonna replace really weird looking guy from the last episodes with Carlos,
He
and
was-
I'm here for
No,
it.
he was already replaced by Max.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that is true.
Tyson technically didn't win against Ray. Ray just gave up and DQ'd himself.
Yeah, it's, well, hey, a win is a win is a win.
But it wasn't a win. It was a tie.
Well, he's
In-
moving on and the other guy isn't. In most people's definitions, that's a win.
I would say Ray couldn't move on in the first place. He wasn't. This was supposed to be like a regional thing, and they're like, and we've invited somebody special from outside of the region to compete in this regional qualifier.
It's a little weird, but at the same time, he was invited by the guy holding the tournament, so it's kind of like one of those, what are you gonna do? Like the guy who owns the whole place is saying that he's doing it, so. Anything else to say about the plot before we get into it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, Yin, why don't you tell us what you thought about Beyblade's plot?
Plot, pretty fun tournament so far. I enjoyed seeing the different styles of playing the game the characters had. I'd give it a light yay, interested to see how the rest goes and to see him fight Shark Boy.
Okay then.
Is Shark Boy Kai?
Yeah, I think it's because of the fins on his arm.
I'm gonna be real honest. I had the same problem with this show as I did with Beat-em-On, where I turned it on to watch it, and I immediately tuned out. So, from the little bits and pieces I can remember, overall, I think this is, for plot, this is more of a meh, because we're just mostly watching the tournament, we're getting more characters introduced, and we're kind of just like watching the progression of this tournament as Tyson and his friends are kind of just like trying to get through it. So yeah.
I guess overall, plot-wise, I'm a light yay. The plot's mainly the tournament and, the tournament itself. And I think, if anything, the plot just kind of emphasizes the fact that these Beyblades are not, even more than the first 3 episodes. They've completely just shown that these Beyblades are more than toys. They're probably eldritch beings trapped inside of a toy that can create powers to destroy the world if pressed hard enough. Because that tornado at the end of the match, I mean, there's no... Like, the fact that they continue to spin, the fact that they pretty much follow commands, even though they're inanimate objects, on will, and again, the freaking tornado that, was nearly the entire length of the arena, like, that they're supernatural at a certain point. They're done. So, yeah, I found that kind of entertaining in an absurdist kind of way. So, yeah, I guess a light yay.
Well, I'm going to give this a light yay. I'm hoping that people who listen to this podcast like tournaments, but it's just a tournament. I will say, this one, episode 3, I fell asleep during the theme song and woke up during the ending song because it's so, loud and sudden. And I was like, no, I can't believe I slept through the whole thing. And so I had to watch it again the next night, and I did not fall asleep. I am just a sleepy boy.
See, I want to give it a light yay because, the plot is moving forward. It's been very consistent. But, the rules of the world are all over the place. Also, their tournament conduct is fucking atrocious, and half of it should not be legal, but it is. When, Tyson's blade breaks, the ref is like, oh, whatever parts you have, you can use it to repair. And Chief runs out of nowhere and he's like, you can use my parts.
He's his pit crew.
There's no pit crew.
He's his bit crew.
Yeah.
And then, the controlling the Beyblades, that, I'm sorry, that's just a little too far in the suspension of disbelief, because it's not just the blades that have the Bit Beast in them, it's the regular blades as well. They're like, jump now! And it does it, and that's weird. Also, Chief put a spring in his Beyblade?
Yeah.
And I don't know how that fucking worked, but okay, go off, Chief. It gets points for, keeping the plot moving forward in a consistent manner towards a very well-established goal. But, everything else outside of that goal is just kinda all over the place. What was that? Is someone watching anime right now?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you could hear that. I needed to see a video of it. The spring base is a real thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're sharing your screen, so...
Yeah, I didn't. Well, it wasn't on the particular screen that I was sharing, so I guess it's just sharing the whole system's audio. Sorry about that.
This call is a
LOL.
fucking mess.
Well, you know
I
what?
was
Yin
gonna
decided
say,
not to show
what
up,
was
so.
that?
End of thought. It's a meh.
I was kind of a light yay here. I think we're, honestly, the whole show's plot has been progressing pretty quickly so far, and it's keeping moving. We keep introducing characters to some degree. Some characters coming back, some new ones are coming in. We get more of these monster creatures that are inside the tops, and yeah, they keep introducing stuff, and they keep keeping the things moving. It's interesting. I'll give it a light yay. It was enjoyable enough for me. Yin went first. Okay. Chibi, I think you're up next for characters.
Honestly, again, because I was kind of in and out of this episode, as far as me watching was concerned, I saw a lot of new faces, but I didn't really get to know much about them because I couldn't concentrate. So,
I think Gray was the only new face.
The only important one, anyway. I'm sure there was a lot of background characters.
I mean, Carlos came back. We had our main crew. And then we had... Which one is Ray?
Cat guy.
Yeah, the
Cat
yin and
guy.
yang.
Okay, that's Ray. And then Kai is the shark fin boy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had those two.
What about Max?
I don't know. I don't really have anything to say because I really only saw like bits and pieces of it and couldn't really like decipher their characters. So I guess I'm kind of like meh, because again, I guess I really wasn't paying attention enough to like really develop an opinion. But our main crew, I guess, is all right because they're there to help each other and things and good friends as they do. So
Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird because there wasn't a lot of development, but there was some development. I mean, you saw Carlos kind of make peace with Tyson at the end of their fight, or at least Tyson trying to make peace with him, and then you see Ray throughout the first two episodes be a pompous dick, and at the end he's able to, respectfully say, yeah, I can't compete against you anymore after the second match. So, yeah, I'm going to respectfully just, show myself out. So it kind of showed a little bit of humbleness to him, I suppose. Otherwise, it was just kind of straightforward. Kai's overconfident asshole. The chief is kind of just there. I like I like his laptop. She wasn't as pervy these episodes as the first three episodes. That's good. Yeah, I guess I'm high meh overall.
I'll give it yeah, I still like these characters. I like Tyson, that's my son. Max, it's his boyfriend, and I like their little best friend rivalry thing they got going on. I love the announcers for the tournament. They had a couple lines in there that were very funny and caught me off guard. Wish I could remember any of them, but Kai and Ray were okay. They're fine. Glad to see that the tall kid isn't still around. Glad to see Carlos make an appearance. We stan. Yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy here.
Okay, I'm a light yay. I don't feel like we delved very deep into the characters, but we did get some, either motivational background or even just some, glimpses into potential mysteries into their backgrounds. Like, with Max, we have to wonder what the fuck was going on with Grandma, that she had a giant turtle locked up in her necklace. You really have to start wondering about what's going on with Kai when his whole gang is kind of falling apart. We didn't get much with Chief, but we did... I think we got a lot for Max, because we did see a lot of, self-doubt, but also that he wasn't the kind to hold a grudge against losing, because he was very respectful and polite, even to Kai being a douche to his face. And maybe just a little overexcitable because he hopped over the fucking barricade for the crowd to get into the arena. Like, they're mostly enjoyable characters, if just a little stereotypical and tropey.
And if they're just a little bit 12-year-old boys.
I have never met a 12-year-old boy. Okay, a 12-year-old boy might act like Kai. I don't think he'd act like any of the others. Oh, also with Ray, like, yeah, we did get to see two sides of his personality, but he also did leave us with kind of a mystery because he told the old man, I want to join the team. So, like, we see that he has, like, a greater motivation for even entering this tournament to start with. So I think it'll be very interesting to see where that goes.
Oh, I forgot something. I know I mentioned last time something about Kenny always wearing his glasses on top of his head. During his battle, they kept zooming in on his glasses, like, as if they were his eyes. So I started wondering, are his eyes up there?
Good question.
At the top of his forehead? Or are those just his glasses and they were being silly?
Maybe.
Maybe he's an alien. You never know. If he is an alien, I could give it a full yay, but I'll just give it a light yay for now. I think probably last time we watched this, they were putting probably a little bit more effort into introducing a lot of characters and getting like their motivations and everything and their dynamics down, which was good for their beginning. Now we're in a tournament arc. You know, we'll get a little bit here and there, but I think the main draw of it is mostly the fights and stuff, so I didn't think we got as much as we could have, but it was still good, and the characters are still enjoyable. You do root for them a little bit, you know. Tyson's energetic and not that smart. Max clearly has nothing behind his eyes most times that he's on screen. Like, he is... I gotta be real with you. He looked brain dead in half of these shots. That's more of a production issue, but, like, I'm gonna be real here. His
In some of them, he looked like he was, like, fucking high on cocaine.
Oh, he is no thoughts, head empty, 24/7. But he's nice about it, so, you know, that's good. So, yeah, I think, overall, light yay. Still enjoyable. I think there could be more done, but, yeah, it's nice. Yin, what'd you think?
Characters, I'd give it a May to light yay. Nothing I haven't seen before, but some of the characters are pretty fun and they achieve what they're supposed to, I feel. Interested to see more rivalry between main character and the shark guy. The announcers were really fun, but that might be mostly the dub. Fun though.
Okie dokie.
Oh, it's not a circle.
Wait, Envy, did you start this one? Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Cool, then that means Envy's starting advertising.
Pretty much take exactly what I said the first time and apply it here to give a very shortened recap. I wouldn't say false advertising, but obviously not as epic in real life as they are in the anime, but still good advertising. Still makes you want to, try it out in real life and, duel with your Beyblades. So yeah, it's yay.
I feel like I've shot down other shows for this, but yeah, like Envy is saying, they're a cool toy. They're cooler in the show because they're possessed and you can be like, defensive maneuver, jump now. And in real life, you just kind of throw them. But, like, it feels good to throw them with the ripcord. Like, it's a nice feeling and it is a cool toy. Even if it is a little dramatized in the show. I'll give it a light yay.
I'm gonna be a meh to a light nay. We have departed all realms of, like, actual play you can do with these toys. Not a single episode this time did we see anything that could be considered, like, a realistic advertisement of the product. Like, Beyblades aren't just gonna spin forever or suddenly pick up speed after you've launched them. Like, you cannot order it to jump or, like, suddenly change direction or spin it the reverse way so when the other blade lands on top of it, you can suck up its energy somehow. Like, does it look cool? Sometimes. Sometimes I think it looks a little dumb. Like when Tyson's jumped through like the gap in the rock, like I think that was supposed to be like a really cool, like, wow, look at what he just pulled off moment. But it was really just like, what the fuck just happened? But like, if you go and you get a Beyblade, half the time you can't even get it to spin. Like, and I love Beyblades. I had Beyblades. I just think this show is not a really good advertisement for the actual toy. Maybe for the franchise itself, but not the toy.
Okay, so I don't know what your problem was with getting the Beyblades to spin. I never had a time where my Beyblades did a spin.
No, I had a maybe it was the arena I had that was a piece of shit, but yeah, half the time.
If you don't land the blade right, it will not go. It will just fall.
Yeah, that happened to me a lot.
I feel like you didn't rip it hard enough, man. You didn't let it rip.
It's not about rip. It's about the angle it lands at.
Sure.
I was a very hyperactive kid, so I would have ripped.
I will say that for where the franchise is now in comparison with like what was coming out at the time product-wise, Kozi, you got some points. But they did all the things you're saying that they couldn't do. They eventually did make products that were supposed to do those exact things. Like, oh, you can't control your Beyblade. They eventually made an RC Beyblade. It did not work very well. And they were chunky as hell, so basically you just bought it because it was like twice the size of every other Beyblade. There was also something, I want to say it was called Engine Gear. It was supposed to work kind of like the RC thing, where you push a button on your little launcher thing, and it does make it spin faster. Or something like that. They had a couple...
After it's already left the launcher?
Yes, it's like a little... They added little electronic devices and like magnets and a whole bunch of other like little things.
How is that supposed to work, though?
It didn't always. The RC one did not work.
Yeah, if it didn't work, then it's still not good advertisement.
I get that, but I bought this shit, man, because I thought it would. And to some degree, like, they are still showing off you can modify them, you can switch out parts, you can do this, you can do that. Like, I had one of those, the green one, the Dracil, that, like, I think the dad mentioned, there's ball bearings in the base of it to make better balance. I had it. It did have the little ball bearings in it. That's kind of interesting that I didn't see that on a lot of the other ones. They didn't really get into the magnet stuff until, like, season 2, but that was also an element, like, they keep, like... They're adding things. I want to say Carlos put fucking razor blades on his Beyblade.
Yeah. Like, that thing embedded.
I'm going to be real with you, and this is bad, but I did think about that once or twice whenever I had a Beyblade. I'm like, what could I personally customize this in some way to make it, like, possibly dangerous?
I will tell you, they did sell... Like, obviously it wasn't, like, advertised as, like, bladed, but, like the really sharp-looking ones, they sold those, and they were sharp.
Yeah, but...
And they were heavy, because they were usually straight metal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, metal parts on those things started to become much more of a thing, and, like, made them heavier, which means that they, like, could take more hits, or do this, or do that. I mean, as long as you launched them right, which apparently you weren't always, but... I think to some degree, yeah, they are kind of advertising their product decently enough. And yeah, we're not going to have eldritch creatures from beyond time and space come out of our tops. But like even at 10, you're like, I know that's not going to happen. Like no one thought the holograms from Yu-Gi-Oh! Were going to be real. But, you know.
Yet.
Oh God, they could be real now, couldn't they? Jesus. God, what a time to be alive. Ugh, what a time to be alive. But yeah, I'm actually going to give it a light yay, because they do still make it look fun, and outside of the more fantastical elements of it, yeah, there's some stuff here that they at least tried to make a reality. So I'll give them points for that. Yin, what did you think about advertising?
Advertising, I'd give it a light yay. It made me interested in how the game's played. It seems pretty simple and fun to watch. The playstyles are kind of fun for the most part.
Okay.
I I'm gonna give this a...
Come on, tell us what you really think.
I don't know. I guess, like, for me, with the advertising, it was just kind of like, I feel like they were showing, like, a good sort of environment for, like, where these sorts of toys would, like, this is, like, Beyblades, they'd be in, like, a tournament like this, but it's just kind of like, it's not necessarily quite as simple as just, like, let it rip and watch them go. There's, like, physics involved and a bunch of other things, and it really is all very dependent upon which, like, toy you actually have. Especially now that, like, Al, as you said, that variations on the Beyblades itself did exist. I think it kind of, like, really depends on how you're looking at it for advertising. Because in an aspect, it's just kind of like, if you're not really, like, necessarily, like, looking for the right sorts of things for your Beyblade, and you're not, like, I wouldn't even say strategizing, but you're just not, like, thinking that far ahead with what you want from it, like, I would say maybe this is a little bit, like, this is a bit of a weird one. I feel like I'd just give it a meh. Mostly because, like, wow, this is all just sort of, like, a good way to demonstrate how these would be used. It's also, like, just sort of confusing, and if you don't necessarily know what products you're looking at, you might, come to find, like, oh, all of this different thing doesn't do what it's advertised, and, like, modifications, well, how can I make modifications, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah.
Okay. So, Cece, what'd you think of the production?
I don't really have any complaints. It's fine to look at. The dub's got some funny lines in it. I'll give it a light yay. I have been singing the theme song all day.
I'm gonna have to go meh. I feel like there was a very noticeable drop in the quality of animation, especially, like, when they have the actual Beyblade fights, which is, like, their key thing, the thing they really want to stand out. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it didn't look as polished as it did in the first 3 episodes. Like, it kind of just feels like they got a bit lazy about it. Although it's probably, like, a budget issue. A lot of the lines in the dub were pretty funny. I just, like... man, the animation was a little hard to stomach this time around. Part of that is also, like, one of the children looked like they were on fucking cocaine, but...
I mean, I honestly, I think I might give this one a light yay. That theme song is really fun. The dub lines were, I think, funnier this time around than they were last time, though I think it's part of it is just, like, anytime you have an announcer off screen in a dub, that's, like, free reign to make jokes for a lot of people, because you don't have to match up anything, you don't have to do lip flaps, you don't have to, like, even worry if they're supposed to be talking. Just add a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. It's kind of a fun little do whatever you want sort of moment, which is nice. I don't particularly love the art style of this season, but I think it still works for the most part. We're having a couple weird moments, like Brain Dead Max in a couple shots, but yeah, no, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit, so I'll give it a light yay.
Okay, I do want to quickly add something on. There was a lot of repeat animation, and the complaint Envy had about Digimon last week kind of carried over into this. Like, someone always had to be saying something. Even if it wasn't the characters on screen, it was the announcers.
Okay, but I feel like the announcers were there to, like, transition between some things, and it wasn't just, like... Because it wasn't always just filler. I don't think that they did nearly as much talking as they did in Digimon, and at the very least, their little filler bits serve some degree of purpose. And were sometimes just funny.
A lot of the announcers' conversations served no purpose besides being a joke.
Yeah, but the jokes landed a little bit more. Maybe that's why I'm a little more okay with it. I don't know. Yin, what'd you think?
Production, light nay. The animation is really bad and wonky. Some of the voices sound kinda weird and amateur, though I guess they sound like kids at least, not 30-year-olds. The opening is really fun, so that's the reason it's not a hard nay, but if they really want to get a full yay from me, it wouldn't hurt to pop lock and drop some big jiggly jelly bubble butt blue mamacita down on the screen. Oh baby, I wanna give her some peanut butter and make a sandwich.
Okay then.
Overall, like, it's not a pretty show, and some of the lines are okay. I'm gonna be really honest. I know y'all all love the opening. Honestly, Battle B-Daman kind of had, like, the opening I'd preferred out of these two, but that's just me. So, yeah, overall, I think I would give this a meh.
I don't mind the animation for the actual Beyblade fights. The other animation for the actual characters is whatever. I'm glad you mentioned the announcers, Al, because I loved their banter back and forth. Like, at first I thought I would find them annoying, but the more they kept riffing on people in like real time, I thought that was more and more funny. They kind of reminded me of two things. They reminded me, one, of the announcers for Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know if you ever played the Ratchet and Clank games on the PS2, but the announcers from Ratchet Deadlock. Oh
no,
my gosh.
I remember that one.
Yeah,
I actually was thinking, well, you continue.
Well, because the announcers from Ratchet Deadlock, like, the way they riff on each other, especially Darren Norris's main anchor guy, like, it reminded me of both of those, so, yeah. And, like I said, the voice acting kind of ranges from passable to So, and I do like the opening theme song and a very cheesy early 2000s kind of people thinking this was cool. Years later, it's going to be a cringy meme on TikTok kind of vibe. So, yeah, I guess overall, I'm a light yay on production.
You know what announcers I was actually thinking of, and I don't know that anyone else is going to get this reference.
The two from Nintendogs?
Nope, I never played Nintendogs, but you know what I did play for some fucking reason on the PS2? It was like Tiger Woods 2004, the PGA Tour game. They had two announcers who were actual golf announcers who, anytime you, like, screwed up, they just made fun of you. Like, I don't remember all the lines. I'm sure there's all the lines somewhere, but, like, one of the lines was, like, you missed, like, a putt that was very close to the hole. It was like, that hurts worse than being pregnant. Like,
wow.
What? Like, what the fuck is this?
They put that in a kid's game.
Yeah, no, but it's also like the sort of like quiet golf, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that hurts worse than being pregnant. Oh, swing and a miss. Yeah, he's gonna...
So they did it in a golf monotone, insulting voice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I actually really wish they would like do stuff like that a little more often. But
they're like, wow, golf is the lamest sport, and you're not even good at it virtually.
That might have been one of their lines. I don't know. Wow, if he's this bad at the game, how do you think he is in real life? Anyway, I think we probably gotta go into final thoughts now. Kozi, what did you think?
Overall, I'm still a yay here. You know, for as much shit as I kind of give it, for it's honestly dated kind of everything. Like, I do enjoy Beyblades and the franchise, and I would like to keep watching it, head kinda emptied of all thoughts in middle of thought. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm also a light yay here. I don't think these 3 episodes were as good as the first 3 episodes. I think that's kind of across the board what's been happening a lot in this tournament. But at the same time, more than anything, the next episode will include, or at least will either be the lead up to or the actual fight between rematch with Tyson and Kai and the who's going to win the tournament and that. So that's interesting. I want to see what happens, and I'm enjoying these episodes enough that I'm like, yeah, let's keep going. Why not? This will be fun. So hopefully it is fun. And yeah, Yin, what are your final thoughts?
Needs more big booty jiggle jiggle yum yum, but I'd still give it a light yay. Pretty solid and fun. Interested in the end of the arc.
Okay then.
My final thoughts are that I could honestly really take or leave this series, because, like, while I'm not, like, hating it, I'm also not really, like, enjoying myself either, so I'm very much a very right smack dab plop in the middle meh.
I'm enjoying myself okay with the show. Like, I don't hate it. I having some fun with it. I'm interested at least to see the next episode, or more than likely 2 episodes, because they always drag out final fights for more than 1 episode. So yeah, I'm interested to see how the tournament ends. I'm assuming Tyson's probably going to win, but who knows? So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens next. So I'll give it a light yay.
This is by no means a perfect show, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I think that's what counts, so I'm giving it a yay.
Okay, any other thoughts on Beyblade before we head into the actual battle?
Do we actually have to do the battle?
I was going to bring it.
Battle.
I was going to bring
If we had
this.
to do it last week.
Yeah, if we had to do it last week.
Uh-huh.
It's all right. We're almost there. Okay, let's do this. Let's talk. It's Battle B-Daman versus Beyblade. I'm leading us off on plot. Let's see who's gonna get my yay. I think I'm gonna give my yay to Beyblade. I think that it is just a more interesting plot. I don't know that I have to explain it a ton here. Things are happening more than Battle B-Daman. Yin, what are you giving your yay to?
Beyblade.
Nice.
Great. All right. Me. Beyblade. Envy, you're next. Go.
Was this plot?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Beyblade.
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 Okay, so everyone went Beyblade. All right, Beyblade wins for plot. Moving on to characters. Yin, who gets your yay for characters?
Beyblade.
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 Still Beyblade. These are my friends.
Beyblade.
Yeah, again, I'll go Beyblade. I do want to elaborate just on reasons why. Hey, these characters are fun and the other ones aren't.
No elaboration, just get it done.
You know what? We've done elaboration before. I feel like I should be doing it. Advertising. Chibi, who's getting it?
Beyblade.
This was advertising?
Advertising.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Beyblade.
Still Beyblade.
Beyblade, I will give elaboration, Al.
Okay.
I don't understand Battle B-Daman as a toy. Like, looking it up I did, but, like, from the series itself, I don't understand what you're supposed to do with it, besides shoot each other's eyes out. Which is not a toy, that is a weapon.
I'm going to disagree with you. That's absolutely toy, which is why I'm giving Battle Beat-em-on my yay for advertising. It's not going to be a sweep again this week either. I'm going to be real with you. Both of these shows did show us some of the elements of their toy and what they could do with it, but also some fantastical elements that we kind of have to throw out when we're thinking about it too much. Honestly, though, I think Battle Beat-em-on might have showed us more of the actual toy than Beyblade did, so I will give it the advertising on that. Yin, what did you think of that?
Beyblade, bitch.
Okay, Beyblade definitely still takes advertising. We move on into production. Envy, who's getting your yay?
Beyblade. And I will elaborate. I thought the animation for the fights with the toys looked cooler for Beyblade than Battle Beat-em-on.
Beyblade. I like their dub. I love a dub with some good lines thrown in there.
I'm gonna give it to Battle Beat-em-on. I think animation-wise, it was just the better out of the two.
I'm actually going to go with Beyblade. I think they were comparable in a lot of categories, but I like their theme song better, and yeah, I think they had a couple better jokes, so that's where I'm going to lean. Yin?
Beyblade, you ugly son of a whore.
I abstain, because my vote doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, Cece, well, hang on. Beyblade wins production. But Cece, who gets your final thoughts?
final thoughts are I'm in a bit of a mood and everything is either a hard yes or hard no in my mind right now. So it's most definitely Beyblade.
Beyblade, please, if some miracle twist of fate ended up doing Battle B-Daman, I would cry at this point.
Well, now I want to go back and change all my votes. No, it's still gotta be Beyblade. I mean, I don't really have much to say about like where this is going with Battle Beat-em-on, but I'm interested to see what the next episode of Beyblade is, and that's the essence of final thoughts right there. So I go with Beyblade as well. Yin?
Beyblade, you dumb twat. I want to see this motherfucker go all the way with whoop.
Beyblade.
And Beyblade.
Well, Beyblade definitely took that category, and let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, every other category as well. This is actually kind of ended up exactly like last week, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens when we come back around to these guys.
Battle Beat-em-on got 2 votes this week.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yokai Watch had 1, and that was Moai.
Okay. Well, either way, that's still a pretty clean sweep for the most part. The little bits on the side aside. These guys move on to the final 4, Beyblade. And they
Handshakes
will fight
all around.
Yes, handshakes all around. They will go on to battle against Digimon when we get back around to them in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Huh. Any final thoughts on Battle Beat-em-on?
Thank God it's over.
They should have titled it. They should have spelled it different because I still want to call it Battle B-Daman.
Yeah,
maybe the entire series was a figment of that creature's imagination in the chair.
The gelatinous woman?
My big blue bubblegum cake stack hoochie mama.
Whatever you want to call her. Walrus thing without the tusk, gelatinous woman, big blue fucking bitch, whatever.
Shouldn't seem that mean. I wouldn't call her a bitch.
I feel like only Al has seen Bobobo here, so y'all don't know Jellyman.
Oh, yeah. We should watch that at some point. Add it to the list.
No, we don't. We do not have to do that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's a seminal classic or something. I don't know.
We don't gotta.
Ew, it's a what classic?
It's seminal?
Ew.
Not seminal, seminal.
They are pronounced the exact same way.
Well, tomato, tomato. Anywho, Beyblade moves on. Oh, God, we gotta go back around next week. We should talk about next week, because next week is important. We're going into the Final 4. It's the semifinals. These are going to be deciding the finalists for this entire tournament. We are almost out of the woods, people. We're almost out of the woods.
Woo.
So who's going up next week? It's Black Rock Shooter versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Had you asked me at the beginning of this tournament what would be going into the Final 4, would not have thought this matchup would have happened. But here we are. Specifically, we should mention, and, you know, we've been going back and forth about how to do this if something should happen. But there's only 2 episodes in Black Rock Shooter left for this particular series. So we'll be watching 2 episodes of Black Rock Shooter and 3 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because we keep going 3 by 3 by 3. So I don't know if that's an advantage or a disadvantage, but it's how it is. So, boy.
It's less homework for me.
Hey, that's a one way to look at it. So yeah, come back for that. Next week we pick our first finalist, and then the week after that we pick another one, and then the week after that we're fucking done. So, looking forward to it. We'll see you guys then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night, chuckle nuts.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!